Now let's rotate the figure eight to the vertical position. Imagine grabbing a rubber band from the top and bottom and twisting it. It would make the shape of a vertical figure eight. This exercise focuses on rise and sink with a little sideways rotation. Start from the bottom of the figure eight, then rise at an angle to the top. Shift your weight across the top, then sink at an angle to the bottom of the figure eight. Shift your weight to cross the bottom, then rise at an angle back to the top. When rising, keep the knees slightly bent. When sinking, tuck the hips under to keep the spine vertical. Make sure that the movement is led by shifting the weight and turning the hips and shoulders. The breath should power the movement. Breathe in as you rise, gently hold the breath, then exhale as you sink. Leading the exercise with the pinky will incorporate movement from the wrist, elbow, and shoulder. Repeat the exercise until you're comfortable with the flow between the breathing, the body, and the hands. Then practice with the other hand. For now, we're going to change directions around the figure eight. Start with the hand across the body and rise at an angle to the top. Shift your weight across the top, then sink at an angle to the bottom of the figure eight. Shift your weight to cross the bottom, then rise at an angle back to the top. Leading with the ridge hand will change the rotation in the wrist, the elbow, and the shoulder. Make sure not to reach too far with the exercise. The hand should remain between the level of the face and the belt and the width of the shoulders. If you'd like to make the figure eight taller, incorporate more rise and sink from your stance. If you'd like to make the figure eight wider, incorporate more rotation from the hips and shoulders. Also, the pace of the movement should match the pace of the breath. Breathing in through the nose until the lungs are full at the top of the figure eight. Then breathing out through the mouth until the lungs are empty at the bottom. Repeat the exercise until you're comfortable with the flow between the breathing, the body, and the hands. Then practice with the other hand. For now, we're going to switch to using both hands. This time, one hand will lead with the knife edge, the other with the ridge hand, and they'll chase each other around the figure eight like butterflies. This is the first brain teaser of the figure eight exercises. Both hands should move on a parallel path around the figure eight, powered by the legs and the rotation of the hip and shoulders. The arm should remain relaxed like a paintbrush, not stiff like a pencil. Once you're comfortable with the exercise, change directions. Jeremy's going to change directions at the top of the figure eight. Now the other hand will lead with the knife edge. You should feel the figure eight being drawn in every joint of the body from the ankle all the way out to the wrist. The whole body should move similar to a piece of seaweed caught within a wave. Once you're comfortable with the flow between the breathing, the body, and the hands, it's time to move on to the next level of brain teaser, both hands moving opposite. When leading with the knife edge, start with the hands at the bottom of the figure eight on the outside. Angle up the figure eight, then uncross the hands at the top. Angle down the figure eight, and then uncross the hands at the bottom. This exercise primarily focuses on the rise and sink. When rising, make sure the knees stay slightly bent at the top. When sinking, tuck the hips under to keep the spine vertical. Because there's no rotation from the body, it will require more rotation from the shoulder, elbow, and wrist. This will incorporate more muscles from the chest and upper back. Once you're comfortable with the exercise, change directions. Jeremy's going to change directions at the top of the figure eight. Now the exercise will be led with the ridge hand. This time, cross the hands at the top, then angle to the bottom of the figure eight. Cross the hands at the bottom, and then angle back to the top. Our bodies are wired backwards. The left side of the brain controls the right side of the body, while the right side of the brain controls the left side. When the hands cross, it can confuse the brain. This exercise will make both hemispheres focus on separate tasks cooperatively. By getting both halves of the brain to communicate, you can combine creativity and logic. Repeat the exercise until you're comfortable with the flow between the breathing, the body, and the hands. As with any skill, it takes practice and proper training to get good at it, so make sure you look for a good school in your area. If you're in Southern Oregon, contact us for our locations and times. Thanks for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, like it, and make sure to share that with a friend. Click the subscribe button and then hit that notification bell so you can catch our next exciting video.